Welcome back to April's edition of Lifelong Learners. Last week I shared my autism story for Autism Acceptance Month. This week I am going to talk about my stuffed animals and why I have so many. For more episodes of Lifelong Learners, you can go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel at Lifelong Learners Podcast. Like, comment, and sharing my podcast helps me to get my autism story out there. Sit back and enjoy the show. Holly Tetreault. During the early years of my life, I always had a lot of stuffed animals. Stuffed animals were always a way for me to cope with stress and big life changes. I started bringing my stuffed animals to therapy from a young age. I brought my stuffed animals to therapy because it would provide me comfort and security while I was talking about hard feelings. My special interest in stuffed animals has evolved over the years. Sometimes I wish I could show people my collection of stuffed animals. I have been trying to explain for a while why I have so many stuffed animals. Some of my stuffies came with me from my old house in Leiden. Once I found Teddy in a plastic bag, I knew that he would never leave my side. I had to find someone to stitch up the holes in Teddy. After getting Teddy stitched up, he became one of my favorite stuffed animals. I enjoy talking about my stuffies, and they help me navigate this overwhelming world. When I am having big feelings, I prefer my weighted stuffed animals, so I get the weight and softness that helps me to calm down. I always get asked about, why do you need so many stuffed animals? My answer is, stuffed animals are my special interest. Also, my stuffies are one thing that won't judge me for who I am. There were times where I couldn't even talk to mom because my sister needed to know everything that we were doing. I had to grow up faster than other people my age. Having stuffed animals was a way for me to feel like a kid. Growing up, I really didn't talk about my special interest in stuffed animals, especially at school. I was afraid that people would make fun of me because I wasn't interested in things girls my age were. Over time, my stuffies became my comfort items. Being autistic, I found that soft textures bring me joy and happiness. My collection of stuffed animals has grown over the last couple of years. I like using my stuffies to decorate my Christmas tree, and I enjoy their company. Fox and Teddy enjoy going out in the community with me. These two stuffies have been causing trouble lately. Fox and Teddy take turns deciding who's going to try and take off with Mom's car. Every time I take Fox and Teddy with me shopping, I usually leave Fox and Teddy in the car. When I come back from the store, I find Fox or Teddy in the driver's seat. I don't know if Fox and Teddy talk to each other about taking off with mom's car. I use my stuffed animals to advocate for autism and disability rights. When mom can't come over, my stuffies keep me company. I take my stuffies everywhere I go. I want my stuffies to explore the world around us. It doesn't matter how old I am, stuffed animals are my favorite thing, and I like the soft texture. Now that I can talk about my special interest, it makes me happy. When I was younger, I couldn't talk about my stuffed animals because society didn't believe that girls could have autism. There were days where I wanted to talk about my special interest, but I was afraid of being picked on for it. This is why I hid my true self from the world for 10 plus years, because I knew if I told someone I was autistic, then they would think of me differently. Growing up autistic was hard because no one understood the invisible pain I was going through as a kid. Every day I would come home from school, I would go to my room because I didn't want to talk about how my day went at school. I just wanted the comfort of my stuffed animals. My stuffed animals were the only things that wouldn't judge me for who I was. The only time I could talk to mom was when we were out shopping. It was hard to not be able to talk to mom. I didn't ask to have autism, epilepsy, and a mild intellectual disability, but I am doing my best every day. I enjoy bringing my stuffed animals out in the community. My stuffies have come with me to therapy for as long as I can remember. Every appointment I have, I make sure to bring a couple stuffed animals to help with stress. I don't care if someone is staring at me, let them, because they are judging what they don't understand. Having stuffed animals has helped me to cope with the divorce that I witnessed over 10 years ago with both of my parents. My life with autism has made me realize that I was born to stand out. Using my stuffed animals and lived experiences to educate people about autism and disability rights. Another reason I talk about Teddy is that he is the only stuffed animal I didn't get rid of when my parents divorced. I bring Teddy with me to GCC, to the grocery store, and he is a good friend to me. I think Fox and Teddy were meant to be friends. I still say we need Fox to be the mascot of the Neurodiversity Club. I have had a Fox and Sox stuffed animal since my second to last year of high school. I felt comfortable bringing my stuffed animals to school while I was in the postgrad program in high school. One day I was in my art class and I decided to take my stuffed animals out of my backpack. I put them on the table expecting someone to say something, but they didn't. From that day forward, I started bringing my stuffed animals to college and everywhere else I go. It started becoming routine that I take my stuffed animals with me when I travel in the community. It doesn't matter who you are or how old you are. If something makes you happy and brings you joy, then do it. Being autistic is awesome. I will have to find time to count my stuffed animals because I've lost count on how many I have. That's all for this week's episode of Lifelong Learners. Today I talked about my special interest in stuffed animals. Next week, for Autism Acceptance Month, I want to talk more about how science has failed women and girls on the autism spectrum. I want to thank Alex, GCC, and all of my fans for helping me get my autism story out there. For more episodes of Lifelong Learners, you can go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and you can find Lifelong Learners on YouTube. Like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Lifelong Learners Podcast. See you next week. Holly Tetreault.